Hey, it's Benjie Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through Benjie at alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show solely due to the love and support that you all continue to show. We're available across all major podcast distributors, and like I mentioned, people, if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are delighted to showcase this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have the impressive Walter J. Butts. Now, we're going to be discussing his incredible novel, The Price of Love. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, man, it's a lot of places. Check out his personal websites, though. There's two of them that I'm going to mention here for you. One is bigmanbutts.com, followed by mountcarmelchicago.org. While you're at it, listen, The Price of Love is the anchor for today's interview, but there are two other books that he has available as well, and you're going to want to check them both out. Again, that's bigmanbutts.com, and then the other one, mountcarmelchicago.org. And I quickly want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that he was brought to us by Worldwide Publicists. So for writers out there who have gone through their process and now you need some assistance, head on over to worldwidepublicists.com and gather all of the ways that their fantastic team is more than equipped to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Walter here on the line today. People, it's interesting, man. We often say that we would do anything for love, but what does anything actually look like, right? I mean, it's a statement that I think we throw around very easily without really digging deep to figure out the message behind it or the intent behind it. We'll strap in as we discuss this powerful new novel, The Price of Love, because this isn't just about infertility or adoption. It's about what comes next, right? The story that is oftentimes overlooked. It is a gripping exploration of the fine print in unconditional love. And we're going to go beyond the pages and ask, and probably some of the best questions that can be asked, right? Like, what is the ultimate price tag on a child's future? And who ends up paying for it? So sit back, strap in, here we go. Walter, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Walter, listen, man, it is a pleasure to have you here. I think your book is not only a great read, right? Very entertaining, but it's also going to get to something that's deeply personal for a large portion of the population, right? So many people can relate firsthand from the adoption standpoint of the book, but there's also the underlying message of love and family and how family doesn't always have to be the blood-related family that you were given. Sometimes it can be cultivated, and I think that is a great message. It's there to be received, and it's a wonderful conversation that I think is going to ensue because of it. So, listen, man, we're looking forward to this discussion. It truly is a pleasure, and I want to start first and foremost at the foundation. Walter, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Well, I grew up in church all of my life. My grandfather was a pastor, and eventually I became pastor. As of today, I've pastored over 45 years. I have 5 more years to go. I plan to retire. After 50 years, I promised the Lord. But I studied music. I was in music for years until I got called to preach the gospel. Then I switched over to ministry. I'm an organist, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm a gospel artist. And but my love for children has always been because I grew up in a family of 12, and my mom come from a family of 11 girls. And so I love the big family and always wanted a big family. And so I love children. And this is where this book comes from, out of my heart of what I experienced and the love for having children.
Walter, listen, man, I love what you're saying, right? I'm getting behind each and every part of it. But I will say quickly, as someone who comes from a very big family myself, I have 5 older brothers. I'm the youngest of 6, and now as a father to 2 very young, beautiful little ones. Listen, man, I wouldn't dare try for a third because my goodness, Walter, by the end of the day, brother, I am exhausted. I can't do it. All right. I love these kids to death. I'd do anything for them. But but Walter, I am done, brother. Okay. Don't give me a third. All right. That's it. No. Listen, kids, I love you. Okay. They know I love them. Listen, man, joking aside, let's jump into it, okay? The anchor for today, of course, is your fantastic book. So let's jump right in there. Tell us more about The Price of Love.
The Price of Love really takes you on a journey of a couple that couldn't have children, who wanted children so bad that they heard from one of the members of the church why they should consider adopting children. And it kind of made them feel bad to have a big house and there are so many children that were looking for, that needed homes. And here you're, as one of the members put it, are being selfish. And so the Reverend himself had to convince his wife to go ahead and consider having children. And this book is going to take you on a journey of all the love they poured into these 2 boys who really didn't understand love, who comes from a degenerate family, a family whose minds were so messed up. And even today's day in the Chicago area, that we're trying to figure out what can be done to help our black boys. And we've tried the programs, we've tried pouring money. Donald Trump even offered to send in the National Guards. And so many of us have argued about whether that would help. And we don't know what to do. All we know is that our children need help. And this book is going to take you on a journey of love and how the price that was paid for that type of love.
You know, Walter, I want to stay here for a second, man. And a lot of things that you had just mentioned, and listen, the Trump decision to bring the National Guard in, I have my personal beliefs on it. It's not pertinent to today's interview, so we're gonna refrain from going there. And I think a more important aspect that I want to touch up on now is the title. Okay, there's something about it. Obviously, there's nuance, right, that it possesses. The price of love is powerful, but it's also ambiguous, right? So. Listen, beyond the obvious financial or emotional costs of adoption and childcare, what are some of the more unexpected prices that the characters Wade and Lisa are forced to pay throughout their adoption journey?
The emotional ups and downs, trying to change the character of boys that was taught from ages 0 to 11 and 12 to try to change their way of thinking and their insight on what life was about. It cost them a lot to go through, Wade and Lisa, to go through the ups and downs of trying to guide these boys in the right way so that they could have productive lives. And as you were reading the book, that price is very costly.
People, remember, you got to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, MountCarmelChicago.org, and BigManButts.com. Head on over there, pick up your copies of this book, as well as the other two that he has written today. I promise you, these are going to be ones you want to add to your shelf and you want to get involved in. All right, my follow-up now that I want to go into here, Walter, is, listen, man, of course, without giving anything away, okay, I do think there's a pivotal moment in the journey for these characters where this all begins, for lack of a better term, this all begins feeling like a transactional feeling, right? Go a little bit further in depth there with us. Talk to us more about that. At what point in the story does this transaction transform into an unconditional bond? And what is the catalyst for that particular shift?
Well, what happened was the boys was only supposed to be there a weekend. And they were taken to church. And the pastor invited them, whoever wanted to come down and pray, and asked all the children to come down. And these boys didn't have no parent or adult. And they cried all during service because they had no family to come down with them. And they began to share with Wade and Lisa how it made them feel and how bad they wanted a father and a mother. And then the conversation began, and the deep love that Wade and Lisa ended up having for these boys to seek the adoption, and then to hear their story, their pain. Just one little story in the book. The mother, the biological mother and father were on drugs, and the grandmother had bought Christmas toys for the boys and brought it to the house. And the boys saw the Christmas toys, but they told them they couldn't get them until the next day, which was Christmas. And the boys were looking forward to it, but wow, the next day, they were told that a robbery happened and all their toys was gone. Only to find out that their mom and dad, who were on drugs, took all the gifts, sold them for drugs. And the unhappiness those children experienced for Christmas broke Wade and Lisa's heart. That this type of pain a child had to go through. And told them boys, this would never happen again. We're going to seek to become your parents.
You know, Walter, my next question that I want to go into, man, and thank you, because I think you've established a great segue here to my next point. Listen, I feel like there's an illusion that is oftentimes presented, right? So often, whether it's a television series or a movie, you see stories like this, and it's always the same thing, right? Like the people step in, they adopt the children, and then it seems perfect. They just ride off into the sunset and everything is wonderful. And, listen, there's that happy ending, and from a filmmaking perspective, I get it. But it gives this illusion of everything being perfect. And of course, as we know, life is anything but. So I want to now transition there, because you don't shy away from the journey aspect of it in your book, right? You show the foster parents stepping in and adopting, but you're also showing the ebbs and the flows, right? The peaks and the valleys of their particular journey and how they go through everything. So as we transition now from the book and find a way to pay it forward, what do you hope your readers will reflect upon with regarding their own calculations, the risk that they are or aren't willing to take for love in their own lives?
First, I want them to notice how beautiful the home on the cover is. Everything may look on the outside beautiful, wholesome, great, but you never know until you go on the inside. You really don't know what goes on in a home until you're there. And there are going to be some ups and downs. But you got to remember, even in your expectation, you're going to need, I call it the God concept, or the God conscious. Because you're going to need strength from somewhere that is going to help you through the dark times. There are going to be good times, but there are going to be dark times. In this book, you're going to be on a journey of laughter, fun. You're going to see all the beautiful trips. You're going to see all the beautiful things. But you're going to also see some things that are going to make you cry. And you got to remember that love is all about not only happiness, but as well pain. And no one wants to talk about the pain that comes with love.
People, remember, there's so much more to be discovered. I promise you, we've only scratched the surface. And really, the only way for you to get it, the only way for you to uncover everything is, again, to head on over and purchase your copy. Embark upon that journey today. The Price of Love is more than a story about creating a family. It's a raw look at how we define a family, right? And I think that's such a key delineation, because as I mentioned at the top of the show, oftentimes we think of family as the ones that we are birthed into, the ones that we are related to. And I mean, let's call a spade a spade. That's not always the case, okay? This is a book that doesn't just ask what you'd sacrifice for love, but what that sacrifice truly costs you. I think it's important to think about that, right? I think it's important to talk about that. And I think it's time to start that discussion here today. Head on over, purchase your copies, and do just that. Walter, listen, man, thank you for writing this impactful book. But more importantly, thank you for being a guest here with us to discuss it all through people of distinction.
Yes, thank you.